Okay, so for this project, this is the serious part of the project. I chose to do YouTube videos because, I mean, seriously, even though YouTube was only founded in 2005, who doesn't watch YouTube? Maybe like if you're like 50, you haven't seen YouTube, but I think I watch a YouTube video like every day. Like, I seriously went on YouTube to learn out how to tie a tie. So yeah, it's for everything. Everything's on there. So why not talk about some medieval texts? You know, we present it into our 21st audience, and this is the easiest way to present it to them through YouTube, where they could find it and make it funny because YouTube's funny, and you know, use fake cardboard box awful cutouts of boats and trees and awful terrible ways, you know, and my nieces are hilarious, so why not use them? I wanted to, I decided to talk about the Voyage of St. Brendan because it was one of my favorite texts that we read in my Medieval Visions class this past semester, and it was a good book. It was easy to read, and it was like Dr. Seuss, and I think that I was able to capture the idea of it being an oral legend and of it being about following God and trying to be like the everyman's man. About there are benefits when you follow God and follow His will, and I think that was kind of the point of Saint Brendan, and I tried to capture that with the idea of Brendan staying in the ship, or my niece staying in the ship, and the other one going to the island because that's what the will of God said, and it turned out it was a huge fish, even though it wasn't such a huge fish because it was a cardboard box. But, it was, captured the idea of a huge fish. I talked about the story of Thaïs and Alcyone because that is like Romeo and Juliet to medieval authors. They referenced it a lot. They talked about it frequently. It was mentioned in Metamorphosis and the Book of the Duchess. So clearly it's something that's remembered. It's common knowledge, apparently, even if it was just passed down orally to like, the peasants, I guess. And the idea of being, of having a god come to you, I mean, that does seem creepy, but I think having my nieces play gods was hilarious, and, I think that it was definitely fun to film, and it was, like, they turned into birds in the end, and I mentioned that in the video, which makes it funny, and I think that it, was a good conclusion, and I think that was how it was portrayed in my other video. And finally, the Book of the Duchess, I think it captured the spirit of what the Book of the Duchess was, about male bonding, the idea of the knight having his duty to fulfill and joining the hunt, and the dreamer being lost and confused and finally falling asleep and having this crazy dream about a hunt, and there's like a dog, and it doesn't even make sense, but it was funny to bring out guns and medieval times wooden sword, but it captured the idea, that whole homeosocial bond thing that we had discussed, and I think overall this is just a good idea, a good way to present, medieval text to a modern audience.